Hello, welcome back to our Rule the Waves 3 playthrough of Italy, starting in 1890, Mare Nostrum. Well, we are at war once again, and once again it's with Austria-Hungary, but they are allied with Spain, so we're likely to see Spain jump in. Hopefully the fighting will be mainly around the Italian mainland. We are blockaded. Austria has quite a bigger fleet than us, quite a much bigger fleet than us, it is. And our main hope here is to just wear them down with attrition through submarine warfare. So I went ahead and put us on unrestricted sub warfare, which netted us like 28, 25 merchant convoy kills, I think, last time around. Can't quite remember, but it's pretty good. We also managed to sink 2 heavy cruisers at the cost of 2 destroyers. And our money situation is looking pretty good for now, which I was thinking about a little bit in the meantime. I might, when we get a couple more months closer to some of these, like the Anconas being finished, I might queue up another 4 or more of our Leon class destroyers. We'll see. Cruiser action. Again, we can expect to run into heavy Crozas. But this is the missile age where destroyers can threaten to do a lot of damage, even outside of the torpedo range, which is pretty cool. All we really need is a radar contact at this point. So off we go. There go all the recons. All right, we have a bearing now. So let's, I guess we'll leave our torpedoes on. And we'll stay in this particular formation to act as a missile screen. But here we go. Again, we're just hoping for a radar contact. And we want to keep our light cruisers generally behind the destroyers. All right. So let's start getting into a battle formation. We'll turn on fire at will. And we'll get our cruisers behind the destroyers. Okay, somehow they're locking onto the cruisers, which is what we don't want. All right, let's blast off a torpedo, shall we? There we go. I've been playing a little bit of War Thunder Naval. So firing off torpedoes gets me pretty excited. I've been playing as the Japanese like destroyers mainly because you start out like in the smallest ships. Oops. And I finally started unlucky a ship that uses the Type 93, the Long Lance torpedo. Looks like we have taken some kind of hit on this thing, so let's try to get it over there to Zara. And this light cruiser has no SSM, so we probably should just get it out of there. Yeah, we need to get somewhere we can actually reload our SSMs here. Oh boy. Alright, well, we're taking hits, so let's get out of here. We're not going to pick up survivors this time because it's just too dangerous. Looks like the Piedmont is crippled. It's down to 16 knots. Oh gosh, I really wish they would fix that. Detach. It's crazy that one missile did so much damage, but these cruisers are very old. Well, the Piedmont is dead. Maybe we can get the Minerva out of there at least. Minerva just ate 3 missiles. Oh boy, this is quite a nasty situation we found ourselves in here. These later battles, like these later tech battles, they just become like a complete slaughter. There's really like nothing you can do to mitigate this very well. And yeah, I think we've lost pretty much everything at this point. We're just going to try to get away with this light cruiser if we can. Sure. Okay, getting hit by airborne missiles. Yikes, I think we lost this battle. Alright, well, let's see what our aircraft can do. Maybe we'll... Oh, hang on. Turn off AI control. Maybe we can get this out of here. Try to get to Ancona. Max speed, 9 knots. I was hoping our land-based aircraft could do some damage. I'm sure we have an air station here. We're gonna get a little bit of speed on this destroyer. We can save one of our destroyers. So we lost a light cruiser, 3 destroyers, with I don't think very much gain in return, honestly. All right. So how did we do here? Uh, not good. Very ugly. Somehow we pulled off a marginal victory, but it really wasn't. It was just based off of doing damage to their heavy cruisers. Okie. There's a new light jet fighter, independently developed. It's 1 year newer. It's got quite a lot more speed. The range goes down. The characteristics mainly go down. And the bomb load doesn't change, but it does. The other ones are poor reliability, but we're going to say no. How about no? Sank another 28 merchants. Pretty good. Not too shabby. All right, we're going to end up at war with Spain as well here. But we're still doing okay-ish. Oh, they're invading Tunisia, eh? Can our aircraft carriers participate? Oh, okay. Then they just invade Tunisia for free. Cool. Despite our entire fleet being in the... Come on, man. What is going on here? Let me fight. Okay. Only 3 destroyers, but we'll see what we can come up with here. There's the radar contacts. Let's go into screen formation. We might be a little bit safer that way. Whoop, let's go fire at will. We immediately take missile hits, but we do some damage in return. So let's detach our damaged destroyer. Try to get it home, but it's probably not going to make it. We just have to joust with our missiles, like retreat, and then go back in, fire off the SSMs. You can see some, those look like heavy cruisers or perhaps battleships there. We're going to get a line ahead for the sake of potentially firing off torpedoes. Alright, well, unfortunate, but that's the way it be in this era. We did score 3 missile hits, allegedly. Oh, come on. They're so accurate. Alright, well, let's fire off some torpedoes and then get out of here. Well, that might have done something. We want to get behind this destroyer here and use it as a sacrificial lamb. Why am I not? Did I forget to go to full speed? Is that partially why I'm doing so terribly here? All right, let's go. Let's get out of here. I still have some SSMs. And that's it. That's all the missiles gone. Can't tell if I sank anything. I don't think I did, unfortunately. This is just not going well in general here. Well, there's another hit on a light cruiser, maybe the one that was already damaged. Hopefully the one that was already damaged. That way there's a better chance of it actually sinking. And we're just going to retreat here as much as we can. Hopefully save 2 destroyers, which would be pretty cool. It's a lot of fighting going up and around this area. We do have them like surrounded on all sides with air bases. And I'm actually going to divert my fast destroyer to the, there we go, to the south east here, so that it'll take him longer to get into port. It gives my aircraft more time to do some attacks and maybe make up for the damage that we failed to do with our destroyers. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for there. We want to trade for at least a couple of destroyers if possible, because our destroyers are like brand new. They're not the biggest destroyers, so the enemy doesn't get like a ton of credit for sinking them, but they are like state of the art with radar and missiles and whatnot. Okie dokie. Just relying on our land-based aircraft. Hopefully they're out there getting the job done like that. So that should be hopefully a light cruiser dead. And this could actually be a long while to get through. I'm hitting 0 as many times as I can here, but it pauses on all these contacts. All right, let's delete some of these reports here. Maybe I can get an idea of what's happening out here if I do that. There we go. So at least we know where the action's sort of happening. Really wish I could get my aircraft carriers involved in some of these battles. I think that would uh, kind of even the odds a bit here. I see a bunch of bomb hits, Corvette hits, light cruiser, heavy cruiser, AMC bomb hits. But that could be anything. It could be false reports. They could be hitting nothing but Corvettes and enemy AMCs, transports and stuff. You just never know. But we are getting like a lot of reports of bombs over here in the log. Okay. Now our Corvettes are getting hit by uh, missiles. I think that's not the first one either. At this point, I just kind of want it to be over. I want to see what happened. So there's more alleged bomb hits. But again, it could just be hitting the same ship over and over. We're getting close to the 600-minute timer here. Oh, we're over. All right, we're still in. They're still close enough that we're in air contact. So there we go. Hopefully, it's not just the same old ship they're attacking. We're gonna go through all of our missile stockpile. Here we go. So what happened? So we lost 1 destroyer. We sank, 2 light cruisers and 5 destroyers. Not too shabby there. We only lost 3 aircraft in the whole process. Air details. Hang on. Ship details. We scored 8 bomb hits and 22 missile hits. Very cool. So what did we get here? Those are some pretty new light cruisers. 1953. Not too shabby. They got the heavy SSMs on them. They got like all the bells and whistles. They just ate a bunch of missile hits. And then this is a 1955, which is even newer. It has 8 heavy SSMs, 1 missile and 2 bomb hits. Nice. And then just a bunch of destroyers taking missile hits. Yeah, just missile hits, it looks like. And 1 torpedo hit on a destroyer. Cool. 3,000 victory points. It's not going to matter too much because once Spain joins the fray, it's going to like quote unquote adjust our victory points situation. Yeah, we'll do a new helicopter. We'll do speed and bomb load. Maybe they can carry a ASM. That would be pretty darn cool. We sank 36 more enemy merchants. That's like, I don't know, 25, 25. Like that's probably around 90 that we've sunk so far. Feels like they shouldn't be very happy with that. All right, cool. Kind of wish I'd kept the battleships for the sake of just having the tonnage to avoid being blockaded. But we're not really getting any complaints yet, so we're okay for now. But we are like bleeding through our Leon destroyers. But the good news is we can just kind of pump out more of those, so that's not too shabby. And we are right around 20 minutes. I can't afford to start another battle because it could end up being a big one. So in that case, let's put one more ASW Corvette on trade protection because we've lost a couple. So we're still 19 out of 18. And in just a few months, 6 months, we'll have another whole big crop of these boys ready to go. And not too long after that, we'll have the first of the Anconas. And then we'll, probably about 3 months or so, if I can remember to do it next time I play, we'll start a whole new crop of Leones. Like at least four. And then maybe a couple more after that, and a couple more after that. Alrighty. Well, hope you enjoyed. Mixed results in the battles so far, although we didn't do too shabby there. Austria-Hungary still like 700,000 tonnage basically versus our 370-ish. We did knock out a couple of light cruisers, but they have plenty to spare. They got 21 more of them and 55 destroyers and only 8 submarines, which is pretty cool. Alrighty. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time.